guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're here with another Friday Reads video. I'm so proud of myself. I think this is the third in a sequence. I'm doing better than I think I've ever had. Today we're here with a little reading update, and even though I've been posting review videos, I know some of you don't watch review videos, especially for books that you haven't yet read but plan to. So I know there are some of those videos that probably won't get viewed for a while. And that's fine, that's fine. My goal is to review the videos. You come to the videos when you can. But today we're here with a little reading update because I want to talk about my week of reading since last Friday. So over the weekend, I participated in another iteration of Doris's readathon called Mid-Month Book Bash. This month, in honor of October Mid-Month Boo Bash. I don't think I read any scary books, but I did finish some things and I was really excited about that. The first thing that I finished was The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes, a novel set in 1930s Kentucky, rural Kentucky. And we're following an English woman who has moved there because she met her husband in England. He was working, I think, as a missionary, and she traveled with him to the United States, thinking that she was going to escape in their marriage, but finding that she also needed an outlet. And so she started working as a librarian with a pack horse librarian group where women mounted horses and rode into their communities, rural communities, mountainous regions sometimes, to deliver books for the library. I mean, that was pretty awesome. And this was during a time where there was bootlegging, moonshine. So the book is really interesting because it covers a really interesting time period, historical fiction, but it's also just a really riveting story. Loved it. So finished that. I also finished a buddy read that I was doing of Langston Hughes' debut novel, Not Without Laughter, and I was buddy reading that with Columbus and Rosalie, and I love that book. It was awesome. It is semi-autobiographical because Langston Hughes grew up in Kansas, and he set this novel in this time in the early 1900s in Kansas. We're following a family, mostly, well, a woman and her 3 adult children. One of the daughters is married and has a son, and so we're following that family and some of the things that they get up to. During that time, we're seeing people leaving home, leaving school, the desire to be educated, but not necessarily the means to, women working as washerwomen, the interaction between blacks and whites living in close proximity to each other, but still having very different lifestyles just because of economic disparity. The difference in opportunities for people of color and people who are white. I love that novel because Langston Hughes, I think, used this family to give a lot of ruminations on race and class. Each one of the characters has a different, especially each of the adult characters has a very different outlook on what black people should be doing, upward mobility. And he also incorporates the teachings of W.E.B Du Bois and Booker T. Washington and how blacks felt about those 2 different schools of thought at that time. And because it is semi-autobiographical, we're following the story from the perspective of this young boy growing up and learning from all these different adults and trying to come up with his own view on life. And I loved it. The novel is excellent. Highly recommend it. Go check out my review if you would like to hear more of my thoughts on that novel. I also finished, again, those 2 books. I read e-copies from my library. I got this print copy from the publishers, Willian by Elizabeth Strout. Elizabeth Strout is known for her stories about Olive. You finished? You finished? Come, you want to come say hi? You finish? Come. Let mommy hold you. Ah.
Hi.
Hi. You got yogurt on your face. So I was eating lunch.
Free.
And you finish?
Free.
Finish.
Free.
You're finished. And now you're going to watch your video, and then mommy going to come put you to bed to take a little nap. You want to stay with mama? But you can't stay up here and do bad things. Okay. Here. You want to hold my glasses? Okay, here. Glasses. Okay, mommy making a video, okay? I soon come back to see you. Okay, that's not going to be edited because iMovie is not working on my phone. And so, yeah, we are not editing any videos. All right, so where were we? I was telling you about, Willian by Elizabeth Strout. This has mature characters. Elizabeth Strout's female characters, I think, are often mature women. In this one, we're continuing the story of Lucy Barton, and that was started in the novel My Name is Lucy Barton. And in this one, Lucy Barton is older. She's in her 60s, I think, maybe early 60s. And we're reading about the relationship that she has with her first husband. The relationship she has with her first husband. Since their relationship ended, they've both been remarried, but they've continued to be friends. They have adult children, and so they co-parent those adult children, but also they are just good friends, people who've known each other for decades. How about you go back and watch your video. Go watch Cocomelon. Go watch Cocomelon. Mommy soon come. Yeah, so they've continued to be friends. And in this book, Elizabeth Strout is exploring how you know someone and how you know yourself and how that knowledge evolves as you age. In this one, we have William's character going through some very interesting life changes. And it's about how his former wife, Lucy, helps him navigate those challenges, but also how his behavior around those things help show her more of who he is. And she uses that as a way to reflect on herself as well. I mean, I loved it in the novel. In my review video, I talked about this as like navel gazing, but not just navel gazing for yourself, but also exploring and cleaning maybe the navel of someone else. That's probably a really graphic way to put it, but it's dynamic. It's riveting. This book is one of those like really quiet studies of characters. It makes you want to know more about these people. It's like the wisdom that you get from spending time with older people, and they're telling you about their lives. I just love this. I love this book so much. Those 3 books that I have told you about so far have all been 5 stars. So those are what I finished. I should have been finished with this one because I thought I was going to do a blog review. I still will, but the publisher sent this one to me. Oh, I should have said this was a gift from the publisher's Penguin Random House. This was also a gift from the publisher's Thomas Nelson books. This is Memoir / Christian Living. Ruth Chow Simons she's a public speaker. She is an author. It says that she founded this company called Graceland. And in this one, she's talking about grace and God's grace, because this is a spiritual book. And she's talking about how you need to rely sometimes on God and not just like be so struggling through your life, struggling for goals. Like, sometimes you need to be quiet and allow God to work in your life. I didn't finish. I got maybe about a third of the way in. But the book is beautiful because it has this original artwork inside, which makes you feel like you could kind of take these pages out when you're done. They're not connected to text. So this is the picture. This is the picture. And then there's a blank page behind it. So taking the artwork out won't impact the book. There are other places like this where the quotes are pulled out. Those are connected to text, but the original artwork in here, and they're all like nature pictures, but they are on blank. No, I'm wrong. Yeah. Anyway, this is pretty timely book, pretty relevant. She was writing this one during the pandemic, and she says, you know, in this one she's kind of reflecting on how like there was a big push. A lot of people were talking about how you should use this pandemic time to learn a language or learn a musical instrument or do something significant. And sometimes you just need to allow God's grace to be the life transforming not move, impetus in your life, that sometimes maybe, you know, you're not so worried about what other people think and all of that. I didn't finish. I'll tell you more about that one when I'm done. So aside from that, I'm also continuing some things that I talked about last week. I'm continuing The Sympathizer by Viet Nguyen. Sorry about that pronunciation. That's how I thought the name was pronounced. When I was in college, I had a Vietnamese guy in my class. I was in a very small class. I studied chemical engineering. And my class was 20 something people. And we had a Vietnamese student, and this was his last name. And we call him Nguyen. And then later, I've been told it's pronounced Nguyen. That's fine. He never corrected us. I mean, I feel like he was the one who told us that that's how it was pronounced, but maybe that was his way of conceding to the American pronunciation. I don't know. In any case, this one is following a narrator who is a refugee from the Vietnam War. And yeah, a refugee who's, how did that work exactly? I'm not sure. But he's a refugee in the United States, and at the point where we are, he is making these comparisons in each chapter about experiences that he has, how mainstream American culture is different for people who are Americans versus people who are immigrants or people who are considered other. And in each chapter, he just gives a different revelation, and it is deep and intense, and the writing is as intense as you can imagine. And he talks about lots of different things, but the writing is also just really, really smart. Book, you want to tell them about the book that you're reading too? Okay, we have a book. Go. Say farm. Farm. Touch the letters. What's this letter?
E.
That's the letter A. What is... Okay, find another one where you know the letters. What letter is this one?
B.
That's the letter B. For the buzz goes the B, B, B. What's this letter?
K.
That's the chicken. What does the chick say? Cheep, cheep. What's this letter? What's this letter? C. Letter C for cheep, cheep, cheep. Okay, find another book. Bring another one. Go bring another book. Ah! You have a lot of books. Okay. So yeah, I'm still reading The Sympathizer. That's a buddy read with Patrice. Aside from that, I started but haven't quite finished Notable Native People. This is profiles of 50 indigenous people and one-page biographies. Color. That's your coloring book with your crayons. This is one-page biographies of historic figures, some past, some present. So there are lots of people here from different Native backgrounds. And so we're reading about people from the United States, from Alaska, although Alaska is part of the United States. But in this, the author talks about how the different peoples are different. And so she talks about people from Alaska, the Native people from Alaska, that is, the Native people from the territory that we now consider the United States, and also Native people from Hawaii. And in here, so let me share, there are paintings opposite each one of the one-page bios. So pretty short. How do I get this light? So this might be as best as I can do it, as good as I could do it. Just, relevant information, significant information. And so we are we're learning about some of these native people, and some of them, like I said, are current. So people like Tommy Orange, who wrote There a few years ago. A runner called Jordan Marie brings three white horses, Danielle. And we also learn about the indigenous tribe that they belong to, but of course their contributions. And so it's not a comprehensive list, of course. Ball, we're learning about people who are working in the space program, people who are working as seed keepers. A lot of these are activists, because interspersed in the biographies, Adrienne Keene, that's the author's name, also gives a little bit of background on some of the issues that Native people have had to be working towards. She explains who is a Native person, and there's discussion about the lands and advice, I guess, on how you could be more inclusive in your conversations. So one of the things that she suggests doing is that when you go to have an event, she talks about whose land are you on. That's an excerpt from, this is from page 44 and 45. And she says, she gives these maps. She shares these maps of places that are indigenous territories. And then she says, whether you sit on the grass in Central Park in New York City or wander through Monument Valley within the borders of the Navajo Nation, you are on Native land. And she talks about how you can go about finding out who the land belonged to or belongs to, and how you could be more respectful of that history and so on. I love that. So I'm not reading it fast. I could have, kind of pushed through it, but I'm trying to keep it so that I am learning and not just reading. At the end of that book, there's also lists to resources that you can use to find out more about indigenous culture. And so I'm using that as a study book. So I'm reading it. I'm pretty sure that I'll be finished before the end of the month so I can do a review, but I'm not hurrying through it at all. And then the last book that I started this week, I didn't get very far because I'm going to be buddy reading this with Laura, and I don't think she was ready to start yet. So I read maybe 50 pages or so in this one. This is the Love Songs of W.E.B Du Bois by Honoree Fanonne Jeffers. I'm not sure why you climbing up here, Pumpkin. Come stay with Mama. Mommy. Stay with Mommy. Yeah, all right. So we'll talk more about this soon because I'm going to probably be talking about this for a while. I follow the author. The author and I actually follow each other on Instagram. And she shared a post a few days ago where she was asking people not to spoil the book for other people. Like, there's a lot of excitement about the novel and everybody wants to say, yeah, I'm reading it and this is what I thought. But it's such a big book and I haven't read the synopsis. And so I'm not even sure what the novel is going to be about in its entirety. 50 pages in, I can't say what the full scope of the novel is yet. So I'm not going to talk about it. There'll be lots of opportunities for me to discuss this. So that's what I've been reading this week. Aside from that, I got my copy of Bookmarks. This is a magazine that my husband subscribed for me for. My husband bought me a gift subscription. That's the way that I should say this. A couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. I think it was maybe our first Christmas together, our first Christmas when we were married or something. Oh, man. And every year, he just continues to subscribe as part of my Christmas gift. So I love it. This is an excellent magazine, and it does have a profile on the same book. I love that. I love when my books are featured elsewhere. And Bookmarks has given it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So that's great. One of the things I love about Bookmarks is that they feature a different year in each issue. Come down. Come down. Yeah. She climbs up on the table and then she tells herself to come down. So in this edition of Bookmarks, they're featuring 1972. So I'm gonna probably make another video, a separate video, where we talk about the books from 1972 and whether we've read them. I am going to revive the series that I used to do, an occasional series where I go through a book list and figure out how many of the books on that list I've read, and challenge you if you've read some or all or more of the books on that list, for us to chat about that. So I'm going to revive that series. That's coming soon, but I guess this next week I'm just focused on finishing books, reviewing them, so I can try to meet my 30 books in 30 days challenge. So yeah, that's where we are for the bookish week. Aside from that, on Instagram I shared some pictures where I was offering books from my shelves. I am trying to just reduce the number of books that I have. If I've read books and love them but don't plan to reread them, I would love them to go make another reader happy. So on Instagram I shared some pictures of books like that, some hardcovers, and some people responded. I asked that people send me the shipping. So for the hardcovers, I estimated that it would cost about $5 to ship the books, and it did almost. So I'm not making money off the books. I'm just trying to send them to another home. So I probably will do a version of that here on my channel as well coming up. But otherwise, if you want to see what I've been offering, go ahead, go check out my Instagram. It's Karen_RunwrightReads. There's a link to my Instagram in the description box. So that's where we are for the bookish week. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week, hopefully. Next week, Friday. This little one is going to be turning 2. Show them you're going to be 2. 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Count 1, 2, 3. Can you count? You got food all over your mouth. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Count. You want to count for them? You want to tell them your ABCs? Sing your ABC song? Come, let me wipe off your face. No? Okay. I guess that's it, guys. We will chat next time. I'll see you here. I'll be here to review more books. Until next time. Happy reading. Bye. Let me wipe your face. Okay, tell the people bye. Say bye. Bye. Say bye. Say bye. Use the word. You could talk. Say bye. Say bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye, friends. Thanks for watching. Let's chat in the comments. Let me know what you're reading, okay? Bye.